You're listening to the Sales Success Stories podcast, where we deconstruct world-class sales performers to provide insights and strategies to help you improve. To learn more, visit us at top1.fm. Here's your host, Scott Ingram.
Today, I'm excited to share the 6th sample story from the Coming Sales Success Stories book with you. This one comes from David Weiss of ADP and is such a great view into the roller coaster ride we call sales. I'll let him read you his story that includes a little surprise at the end, and then if you want to keep listening, I'll give you an update on the book project.
My name is David Weiss. I work for ADP as an enterprise sales leader. I manage a team that sells strategic outsourcing to large enterprises, and just for a point of reference, our average deal size is about $500,000. My first story is, don't take it personally, they just didn't want to buy from you. What was I thinking? I just told my girlfriend and future wife that we could no longer go to her favorite sushi restaurant, the only decent sushi restaurant in Rochester, New York, and she loves sushi. She even has a song for sushi. I will share that at the end. At this time in my career, I was working for Aramark, selling uniforms and ancillary products like floor mats, bar shop towels, etc. It wasn't the most glamorous work, but being the eager salesperson I was, I tried to sell to everyone. I was always told that if someone likes you and trusts you, they will buy from you. I believed that, and still do to a point. I learned quickly, though, that nothing was a sure thing. In my sales career, I was still very green and took things personally. So I felt someone should buy from me, and they didn't. I would no longer go to their place of business. I felt as if they had personally rejected me, not my solution. Look, don't judge me. I was a silly kid back then. I'm grateful my now wife stayed with me. And she made it very clear at one point that I was no longer allowed to try and sell to places she liked to go. This life we have chosen, this life of sales, is ranked among the most top stressful jobs you can have. It requires thick skin, grit, persistence, perseverance, and many other descriptive words that relate to mental and physical toughness. It is one of the only professions where your best day and worst day can be the same day. Let's talk about that, as I have many examples of this. One that is massive and particularly sticks out in my mind is a deal I recently lost with the largest online retailer on the planet. This company was looking for multiple providers to help support their growth. The deal was valued well into the 7 figures. It was a deal that someone could retire from. The day couldn't have been better when they told us that we were selected as a vendor they would use. They had given us the scope of work, and the final hurdle was legal terms. Legal terms we had assured our competitors would be willing to sign, and that shouldn't be an issue. I was elated, but by that point in my career, I'd learned to be cautious. 10 years ago, my younger self may have bought himself a new car that day expecting a win. As we went through the legal language, one term stood out to us, and it related to the liability our business would hold if something went wrong. I can't share all the details here for obvious reasons, but this would be a hurdle we would not get past. I was devastated, crushed. I could see early retirement slip through my fingers. If you could imagine, this is not a company I could simply stop doing business with. I consider that true growth. It only took 10 years. This was just another day in the life. Now, these situations obviously don't happen every day, and this was a particularly bad loss. But these situations will happen. Most losses won't feel as catastrophic, but they will happen often. You'll get a verbal on a deal that won't pan out. You'll get to contracting and have legal issues. You'll get into implementation and something will go awry, and the client will back out. There are many areas of risk in our profession, and you can see my story on MedPick for ways to minimize this risk. It's important to know what you're getting into. If this is your life's path, be prepared for frequent ups and downs. Learn not to take losses personally and seek help, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Maybe I'm just lucky, or maybe it's because I have a keen awareness of my own shortcomings. But one thing that's helped me is that I married a psychologist. She is my rock. I've also taken up things like meditation and have a very good scotch collection. The point is, this is not just a job you can go alone. It's important to have a support structure, and a healthy one at that. You will ride a roller coaster. And just when you've hit your goals, the year will reset, and it's what have you done for me lately, and the race begins again. If you're lucky, and you've been prospecting consistently, you'll start with a good pipeline. This is one of the most rewarding careers you can have, but with all big rewards come risks and hardship. Be ready for that, and go into this life knowing you must mentally keep it all together. You'll have bad days, really bad days, and days that will change your life in the best ways possible. So if you take anything away from this, marry a psychologist. If you can't do that, and understandably, find ways to deal with day-to-day challenges that you will face. Otherwise, you'll never be as productive and happy as you could be. Oh, and if you were wondering what my wife's sushi song was, It goes something like this.
I want to go to the sushi bar. I want to go with you. Sushi, 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 sushi bar. I want to go to the sushi bar.
Yes, that really was David's wife singing her sushi song. David wrote 2 other stories for the book as well. The importance of picking the right company to sell for, and The Year I Doubled My Income, which is really a story about his adopting the MedPick sales process. If you want to hear more from David and about MedPick, he was the star of episode 24 here on the podcast. Actually, David also presented at the Sales Success Summit, where he did the best walkthrough of MedPick and how it works in the real world that I've ever seen. And you can easily get a copy of that presentation because anyone who joins the mailing list at top1.fm gets a free video of their choice from the summit. The details are in the first welcome message, so just hop over to top1.fm to get that process started. And if you're already subscribed and you've already received your video, but you'd like David's as well, send me a note. I'll hook you up. Now, believe it or not, the print and ebook portion of the book project are actually running ahead of schedule. The day I release this episode is the day I'm expecting the last of the final edits after 2 rounds of professional editing on all of the content. The next day, the final manuscript gets handed off to the inside layout designer to put everything together and make it look good. We ended up with 60 stories from 20 top 1% sales professionals, and this is going to be quite a bit bigger than I expected, likely clocking in somewhere between 275 and 300 pages, if you can believe that. The last day to take advantage of the crowdfunding campaign packages is going to be Friday, August 31st, because after that, there won't be any more time to print people's names in the book. We're doing that for everybody that contributes $50 or more. Then, the first week of September, we'll distribute the advanced preview copy of the ebook to everybody that contributed at a preview level, with a paperback scheduled to arrive in those contributors' mailboxes about 2 weeks later. If it's not too late and you'd still like to contribute so you can get your hands on the book, just point your browser at top1.fm/book. That's TOP1/book. And make sure you're subscribed to the podcast because next week we have another incredible episode. This one, I think, fits into my personal top 5 favorites, so you are definitely not going to want to miss this one. We'll see you there.
Thanks for listening to the Sales Success Stories podcast. To be sure you never miss an episode, and for an invitation to our sales success community powered by Influitive, subscribe to our newsletter at top1.fm.